Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I got another brand new deck profile for you guys today. This time it's on my own personal Sky Striker deck. So this is actually like my own build. I decided to experiment with a few things. I'm playing it primarily the basic way you would in this format because, Multirole's at 1, Kagari's at 1. But the deck is still really strong. In fact, I did not expect this to be like still the strongest deck of this format. Actually, I thought it would have dropped down a lot more and Crusadia Guard Dragon Thunder Guard Dragon would still be around, will be the most powerful, but apparently this deck actually outclasses it a little bit more, so, because it can easily drain it out of its resources, so, and honestly, I found that surprising, so, honestly, I thought this deck would be, like, around the same level as Salad's, but apparently not. This deck is still very powerful, but, and honestly, I can still see why. Like, there are different ways you can play this. You can go a going first build, or you can go a going second build. I've seen some builds that play Card of Demise, which I might go into later on, but for now, I'm going with this build a little bit more, with the Utopia double package and all that good stuff. So, let me go and show you what I got this time around. Alright, so starting off, of course, going to be playing 3 copies of Ray. This the only main deck monster. So you contribute this card as a quick effect to special summon a Sky Striker race Link monster. So, pretty good card, and also if one of your Sky Striker Link monsters get destroyed, you can special summon this card from your grave as a quick effect. But keep in mind it's a hard once per turn, so yeah. I'm already going to move into hand traps, playing 3 Ash, the best generic hand trap, and 3 copies of Valor, only because I can't afford impermanence right now, so I got to stick to a budget, so Valor's just as good, honestly, if not a little bit more flexible in my opinion, but yeah. And that's it for monsters, really. I'm only playing 9 monsters. Everything else, just spells. Okay, so moving on to spells, of course, going to be playing 3 Engage. It's your Pot of Greed, let you search out your Sky Striker Ace cards, and also let you draw one if you have 3 or more spells in your grave. 3 Widow Anchor, I'm sorry. Widow Anchor, mainly your main win condition of this deck. It's a free-form disruption. Also lets you take control of your opponent's monsters if you have 3 or more spells. So it's generally a quick play mind control. Yeah, really good too. So like, you want to steal one of your opponent's monsters, go for it. It's just like one of the easiest ways to get into cards like Warlord or Boral Sword Dragon if you just want to go for the OTK. 3 Area Zero, it's just basically a faster way of getting into Raid. Lets you dig out for your, lets you send one other card you control, excavate the top 3 cards for a Sky Striker card, and all that good stuff. And also, if this card is sent from field to the grave, you can actually search out Ray, or special summon Ray, I'm sorry, you want to special summon it. But yeah, it's like, so generally I'm playing 6 copies of Rays so far. 1 Multirole, rip, but this card is still really good, still very effective. It's searchable, so you generally never have to worry about that. Just gotta watch out for Ghost Ogres, because Ghost Ogre is the one card that really shuts this card off. From here on out, it's just a bunch of 1-ups. Playing 1 Eagle Booster. I wanted to play 2, but I think 1's just fine. Just gives your Sky Striker some added protection. So now I'm playing 7 copies of Ray. So Hornet Drone, and it's at 1 for a reason, because a lot of decks were splashing this in. So it's just like a pseudo scapegoat and literally a 1-card Boral load or Boral Sword. So, yeah. Honestly, it could stay at 1 for all I care. 1 Shark Cannon. It's kind of like a Called by the Gravish card, only you get to steal the monster back. And this is generally how you used to get into your Utopia package. So you always want to target the level 4 monster. That way you can go to Utopia double, get the double or nothing, and then go into the normal Utopia and all that good stuff. Got 1 Afterburners, still pretty good. Jamming Waves, by now everyone should know what these cards do. And 1 Hercules base, everyone's got to run this now because it's the only real way to restore your Kagari, because Kagari is also at 1. So generally you want to send this card by the effect of either Multirole or the field spell. Just send it to the grave, shuffle back any Sky Striker cards of different names into your deck except itself. So that's generally how you restore Kagari, and of course if you wanted to, you could restore this with Kagari yourself also. Next, 3 Call by the Grave, that's, self-explanatory. 3 MSTs, just to get rid of problematic cards, or if you wanted to, you could use it towards your field spell, or again, Hercules base. Now this is where the deck becomes a little unfair. 2 copies of Mystic Mine. I'm not the biggest fan of this card myself, guys. I'm going to tell you this right now, because this card is far too oppressive for its own good, but yeah, I wanted to run this at 3, but I didn't have the room, so I'm only running it at 2. I could bump it up to 3 and just bump MST, but with all the floodgates that still run amok, I figured MST at 3 is better. 2 Village Barrier Goods, just to send the Fusion or any other your Sky Striker cards. 1 Terraforming, Double or Nothing, of course, for the Utopia. So that's now 8 copies of Ray, so Rhoda. And then lastly, Upstart Goblin, just to make this deck at 39 cards rather than 40. Alright, so now moving on to the extra deck. Of course, going to be playing the 1 Kagari, this your first main recursion aside from Multirole. Playing 3 copies of Shizuku. You're going to have to run this at 3 now just because, she lets you search out any Sky Striker card at the end phase as long as it's different from the ones in your graveyard. 2 Hayate. This is just the fact that it can attack directly and dump more of your Sky Striker cards. It's just a good way to dump more spells. So, I've seen some builds that run 3. I just prefer 2. Honestly, I don't think 3 is needed. 2 Kaina, just because, it not only locks out one of your opponent's monsters from attacking until the end of the next turn, but each time you activate a Sky Striker card, you can regain life points. So this card can just... And that adds up fast. So even though it's only by 100 points, you can keep adding up, and just get the advantage for time. Hita is actually really good, especially against the mirror match or salads. Honestly, I think Hita should be in everybody's extra deck at this point because, she just generates so much advantage. So, yeah. Playing 1 Ningirsu just for free non-targeting spot removal and non-destructive too. So Ningirsu definitely a needed staple for this. Playing both Borload and Boral Sword Dragon, again, if you can manage to steal as many monsters as your opponent controls as you can, it's really easy to make these monsters. And of course I got the Utopia double, the original Utopia, and Utopia the Lightning. These cards are never hard to get into because, again, with Shark Cannon you could easily get level 4 monsters, and Rei herself is a level 4, so it's never hard to get into the Utopia package whatsoever. Alright, so now for the extra deck. I mainly played cards that are built to either go second, or if I'm up against a certain build that's going to lock me out from certain things, I have to work around that. So starting off with Raw Sphere Mode. Since this deck doesn't really need to normal summon cards, it's real easy to get Rei out just by special summoning it, or just search out the Hornet Drones. You could still set off. But this is generally just to deal with like decks that like to make those big boards, like again the Crusadia, Garp Dragon, Danger, Thunder. That's just one of those decks. You don't want them to oppress you. It's also good against Pendulums because they always have to have those multiple negate boards. So get rid of the Appaloosa because they're going to be playing that a lot. Get rid of that Red Dragon, Archfiend Abyss, and or Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Just get rid of all the negates. 3 Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Another great card going second because in case your opponent springs a anti-spell fragrance, which really hurts this deck a lot, or Imperial Order, or just any form of floodgate, summon out that Pankratops, get rid of it, just to deal with it. For added spice, I'm actually running DD Crow. The reason for this is that there are a lot of combo decks that are graveyard reliant, and whenever they declare to activate it, you can just spring this on them and just get rid of it for good. So like that way they can't like take the advantage, like Orcus, for example. Orcus is still very much a powerful deck. So you need a DD Crow and just drain them out of their resources. I'm playing Heavy Storm Duster in case, like, again, if someone for whatever reason hits me with that Imperial Order, because some decks can actually splash that in, this is just a good way to deal with it, or as well as just get rid of Floodgate. So you set this, your opponent sets their back row. If you're up against a whole back row strategy, a great card going first. So Heavy Storm Duster definitely helps. Just pop those back row decks. And of course, Evenly Match helps too. So definitely great options. I definitely recommend these. Just play around with your side deck as much as you can, and just go from there. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys again next time.